Hello and welcome to another Zach Carnage video, and today we are taking a look at Thunder Dragons, all set to be coming out in the Soul Fusion booster box later this year, and just in time to kick off the competitive season, to be honest. There's a pretty interesting Floodgate monster attached to this, and some cool trigger mechanisms, which most of the main deck monsters have in common. So we're going to get into the deck. Keep in mind we have used proxies which come from Dueling Book, so if you're interested in picking up the same ones, all you have to do is take a small screenshot from that website, and then you can use that for your cards. Let's get a little bit closer here. And we're going to be starting off with a triple Thunder Dragon. It's in the name. This card obviously giving you the instant +1 if you're seeing the first copy, and it also it's a Thunder Dragon effect that you're using within the hand, which is pretty important for the extra deck monsters as well. Then we have triple Bolt Thunder Dragon. So this is one of the new ones. And it involves the same kind of trigger mechanisms as most of them coming up. So the first one is that you can discard it. This one actually is a quick effect. Discarding it will add a Bolt Thunder Dragon from your deck to your hand, so just another copy of it basically. But that does trigger a, using a Thunder Dragon effect within the hand without using up any of your resources, because it just replaces itself, and that will be important for summoning out your Super Bolt. The other effect, with the same triggers as the rest of them, so if it's banished or if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, then it triggers the second effect, and what that will do is, in this case, you get to add any Thunder Dragon card from your deck to your hand, except for Bolt Thunder Dragon. So you can add one of the others by discarding it, or you can add anything else by banishing it, or sending it from the field to the grave, so you can use things like Gold Sarcophagus to banish this, and get your plays going. This does have the limitation that you can only use one effect per turn, and each one only once each. So then we also have triple Bestial. This tends to go 2 or 3 in most decks that I've seen come out of the OCG. I personally quite like it at 3, although I might cut it down to 2 depending on how testing goes with this. So the discard will net you any of your Thunder Dragon cards from your banish or graveyard to your hand, and if it gets banished or sent from the field to the grave, then you get to special summon a different Thunder Dragon from your deck in defense position, and then you return it to hand during the end phase. You can actually do it for any of them, so you can even do it for another Bestial. I don't think it has a limitation saying that you can't do it on Bestial, which is pretty nice. Then we have triple Avian. This does generally go as a 3 of. Discarding it will summon one of your Thunder Dragons from your graveyard or from your banish pile, and this has a kind of it's not the best center grave or banished effect, which is essentially just reload with this. And then we have triple Origin Thunder Dragon. So discard this to boost one of your Thunder Dragons by 500. Actually, it's any Thunder monster you can boost by 500, sorry. And then if this is sent from the field to the grave or gets banished, you get to add another Origin Thunder Dragon from your deck. And you can obviously, it has the same limitations, you can only use one of these effects and only once per turn. So that's it for most of the monsters, at least all of the new Thunder Dragon support. Then we have triple Battery Man Solar. So this is Armageddonite for any Thunder monster, but it also allows you to make your Link 2 monster, because if you special summon any, if you summon any Thunder monster that isn't this, then doing so will allow you to trigger this effect and summon a token which is Thunder type. So that lets you make your Link monster, which requires 2 Thunders, I believe. Then we have 1 Thunderclap Skywolf. When this is summoned, it blows up your opponent's field, and when it's special summoned, and you won't be able to conduct your battle phase, but your Link 2 monster lets you summon this during your opponent's turn, so that's not really an issue. I am testing out double Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning at the moment. This might become an Aeon Thunder Dragon, but one of the issues that I've found with this deck is you don't tend to have too much removal of particular cards, so this allows you to remove some monsters, which is pretty nice. This could change, actually. There's also Levionia, which I'm looking into, which might be a good option. It's another one of the Chaos Dragons that's going to be coming out fairly soon. And keep in mind, when you banish for the cost of summoning this, you will trigger the effects of your Thunder Dragons in the graveyard. Then we've got some hand traps such as triple Ash and triple Ghost Ogre I've gone with for this particular case. Ash, while we have it, is probably the most versatile hand trap in the format that's available to you. And then I've gone with Ghost Ogre because Based on the current expectations of the list, Pendulum is likely to be a big deal. So will Pure Strikers certainly, and potentially Invoke Strikers, and this is pretty useful for, at least for the Pure Strikers hitting the multi-roll and potentially the Shizuku as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. There are 3 more hand traps in this deck, although they're not monster versions, and I think this gives enough coverage to face most of the expected meta for the upcoming format. Onto the spells. Double Thunder Dragon Fusion. This allows you to fusion summon using cards in your banish pile, in your grave, and in your hand. Is it hand or is it field? On the field, sorry. Which lets you basically reset everything. And you tend to use this for the Thunder Dragon Lord. You can also banish this from the graveyard, I believe. Except for the turn that it was sent there. And that allows you to add any Thunder monster, including the Batteryman solo, which is quite nice too. This also does search Denko Sekka, so that's an option available there. You can recycle this with the Bestial, of course. Then triple Gold Sock to trigger your Thunder Dragon effects. Triple Call by the Grave because, at least in the OCG format, this is quite popular because a lot of decks revolve around graveyard use. This really helps out with the Altergeist matchup, and it deals with a lot of the hand traps that might hinder you. Then just 1 Soul Charge and 1 Foolish. Foolish doesn't really set up your plays, but it allows you to push a little bit further. This might turn into a Monster Reborn or something. Certainly Monster Reborn I would like to fit into the deck if it's possible, as well as an Upstart Goblin. I just need to find which cards to drop at the moment. And the Soul Charge, obviously, this is really nice in that you can generate plays out of a single Thunder Dragon and Soul Charge as well, so you can get to a lot of value out of this card. Then the final 3 cards in the deck, which is playing triple Infinite Impermanence, the final hand trap, which is also useful for going first, because generally you do want to go first with this deck, and certainly one of the best at the moment versus something like Goki, and it potentially could be one of the best hand traps coming up. It really depends on how the format shapes up. The extra deck, triple Super Vault Thunder Dragon. So you can summon this simply by tributing one of your non-fusion Thunder effect monsters during the turn that a Thunder monster's effect was activated in hand, which is why you have so many effects that we try to activate in the hand, even though they're not that good. Things like Origin, it just really isn't that good a card, but it triggers, and is a Thunder Dragon in the hand, so effect that activates in the hand, so it allows you to summon out this guy. And this is also a one-sided mistake, so your opponent can't add cards from either the player's deck to the hand, except by drawing them. So this tends to be your essential Floodgate, your turn 1 boss monster to put up. It also has semi-immunity to destruction. You can simply banish a Thunder, I think it's a Thunder card. You banish 1 Thunder monster from your graveyard instead of destroying this, and you can use that, I believe, as many times as you'd like during the turn. Then I'm running double Thunder Dragon Lord. So this is probably one of the few cards in the deck that actually allows you to do any disruption or removal. You need 3 Thunder Dragon monsters to summon it, and you have to fusion summon or special summon it by banishing a Thunder monster from your hand and 1 Thunder Fusion monster you control, so that'll be your Super Bolt most likely. Some people are running Instant Fusion for Kaminari attack, so you can do that instead. And then when you activate a Thunder monster effect in the hand, except during the, even during the damage step, then you can quick effect destroy 1 card on the field. So that's kind of what you want to be triggering with your Bolt Thunder Dragon and your Origin Thunder Dragon. Both of those are quick effects, so you can use this during your opponent's turn. This also has protection from destruction by card effect. All you have to do is banish any 2 cards from your graveyard, so that triggers all of your graveyard Thunder effects. Then onto the Link monsters. 1 Link Rebo, because it does allow you to turn your Origin Thunder into something, and then trigger the effect of Origin Thunder when it's sent to the graveyard. Double Kaminari Summer Vacation. So this is the Link monster. It allows you to, during your opponent's turn, discard a card and target a Thunder monster in the graveyard, except a Link monster, and summon it to a zone this guy points to, so it is susceptible to Ghost Ogre, unfortunately. But it allows you to disrupt with the Thunderclap Skywolf, and it lets you put out your Floodgate monsters very quickly as well. Then some Nightmares, so Phoenix, Cerberus, and Unicorn. We just need some removal for this deck because there's basically nothing in this deck that allows you to remove cards from your opponent without just going into battle, except for the Lord, and if you can get off the Thunderclap. So these seemed like some of the best options for that. They're very easy to summon within this deck. Then on to Link 4s, so Borosword, Borreload, and Topologic. Borosword probably being the most useful because every now and again you just bring this out and win the game, but sometimes you do have to deal with problem cards, and Bomber and Borreload seemed like the best options for that. Finally, this is certainly a flex slot. Currently I'm playing one Constellar Pleiades, and I've gone for Pleiades because it's had previous history where if you had Soul Charge and Thunder Dragon you can bring this out and then deal with opposing cards, plus it's Disrupt as well, and it's not too difficult to set this up thanks to Avian being essentially Monster Reborn for the deck. So that's it for the deck itself. The list is primarily built on opinions based on Facebook groups that we've seen coming up online. There's certainly a lot to learn about this deck, and hopefully we'll be featuring it in some YCS London format duels that we'll be putting up in the near future. There's a lot of interesting cards and interactions here too, so well worth getting your head around that, and hopefully we'll see you guys in the next video.